What's
Oh
going
shit!
on,
Oh,
boys?
all right.
MW second and final down the hill
Oh
near
my
fast
God.
down. We got a good show. Sorry, they're a little hilarious over there. I don't know. They were smoking something earlier and they did not puff past. So these are selfish, people on the panel over here. But anyways, Tim, lead the way.
All right, we're gonna talk about the top five positionals,
Right.
and we're gonna start off with quarterbacks. And I know I'm gonna have eyes on me because people think I'm gonna pick nothing but Dallas Cowboys. If I can, I put five for all Cowboys. But it's the quarterbacks. My quarterback list is a bunch of quarterbacks who I feel are gonna pass for a lot of yardage and do what they can to put their team in position to win. My number
Right.
one guy is Tom Brady.
There you go.
Proven winner, has a great offense, which we'll rank him later. My number two guys is a shock, and I am not wearing skinny jeans as I'm picking this guy, Eli Manning. I put Eli Manning on there because look what his numbers was last year. Close to 4,000 yards last year in the same Green Bay offense Evan Rodgers was. Barely didn't have the type of receivers as Rodgers. I like Eli this year. My number three guy is Tony Romo. I think Romo's going to come back and have a great season if healthy. My number four guy is Phillip Rivers. No matter what you put in front of Rivers, he's going to throw that ball for a lot of yardage. My number five is a sleeper. I'm putting Blake Bortles. I love the wide receiver tandem in Jacksonville.
Go ahead.
You going to do it, or you want me to go?
Yeah, you can go ahead and go.
All right. So me and Tim, I got the first two switched around. I got Rodgers first, and then I'm gonna give it to Brady. Number three, I actually have Roethlisberger just because he's so consistent with the 4,000-yard seasons, and he's got the best boy in the game. You can't stop that connection. It's ridiculous. I think Antonio Brown might even break the Marvin Harrison reception record this year. For number four, I'm being overly optimistic this year. I think it's the first time Eli is going to have his best season. He might even hit 4,500 this season. I'm trying to remove my bias as much as possible, but it's hard to ignore them getting Sterling Shepard and possibly having Cruz healthy with Odell there. And then number five, like Tim, I do have Phillip Rivers in the top five just because he's always slinging it, and I actually like his receiving corps this year. He's got a lot to work with.
All right, all right. Number one, I got Aaron Rodgers, Green Bay. He gives Jordy Nelson back. They really saw guys like Jeff Janis really step it up. They're going to be a little more balanced on offense, but he's definitely going to sling the rock around. I got Tom Brady at two. Listen, it's amazing what he can do with any cast of receivers. Whether it be Randy Moss and Wes Welker or Danny Amendola and Julian Edelman. It doesn't matter. He seems to get done. Number three, we haven't talked about him yet. He wears number one for the Carolina Panthers, Scam Newton. I think Scam Newton. Yeah, and I call him Scam Newton. He took a step forward as a passer, so I think that will continue. He gets his number one receiver, Kelvin Benjamin, back. In addition, he can run it, and he'll rack up points on the ground and through the air. Number four, Pittsburgh, Ben Roethlisberger. You worry about his durability issues. He takes a bunch of hits, but when he's in the game, he's consistent. Number five, I had to struggle a little bit. If we're talking about someone who's going to put up numbers, I was thinking Eli Manning here, but this is going to be unpopular. I'm going Matt Stafford. Only because we know one thing about Matt Stafford in Detroit is that he will throw the ball 30 times a game, at least.
Yeah.
He loses Megatron, yes, but they get Marvin Jones, a replacement. Theo Riddick caught 80 balls out the backfield last year. They'll try to work Amir Abdullah also.
Yeah, I like Abdullah.
Yeah, I do. For what they're trying to do with throwing the ball around. Eli was a close one there because I think he has better weapons on the outside. I just don't know how much they're going to throw the ball.
Well, according to, for Stafford, if I had to switch one out, definitely would be Bortles for Stafford because I think now with Megatron on, it might benefit Stafford because he's not he doesn't have to throw to one person. He's gonna do what he needs to do, and I think Stafford
right all over the field. Yeah, he's gonna throw it over the field.
He's gonna throw all over. Okay, we're gonna go with the running backs. Quato Cox is not here, so Quato, I'm sorry, bro. My number one running back position, I'm picking the Dallas Cowboys. Why am I picking the Cowboys? Yes, I am. I don't care. I'm picking the Cowboys. You know why? First of all, you have Alfred Morris. Alfred Morris is a very good running back. And as a matter of fact, he was the second best back in a 3-year span next to Adrian Peterson. That speaks volumes. He was in Washington. Only last year was his worst year because Jay Gruden changed the offense. And Jay, you know how new coaches come in, they want to change stuff. They want to change something, get rid of players, and bring their own. And then he had to put back Morris in because the guy he brought in, Matt Jones, just kept on fumbling the football. I think Morris is a good back. I think McFadden proved Dallas wrong last year in a Dallas offensive line that he can get 1,000 yards in 8 games. We let go of DeMarco Murray, and McFadden comes in, had averaged more yards than Murray. I could imagine if he would have started the season and not Randall. Okay? Then you got, of course, Zeke Elliott, the best back in the draft. And I think Zeke Elliott is a special back where they could some compared to a bigger version of Marshall Faulk. I love the idea of those 3 guys handling the rock. Of course, they're healthy. Of course, all healthy. They all have the rock. Good season. My number 2, the Arizona Cardinals. I like David Johnson, who came up big during the playoff stretch, and I love Andre Ellington. Good running back who catch up the backfield. My number 3, I have the Bengals, Jeremy Hill and Giovanni Bernard. Each game, whoever's hot, they produce. I like the Bengals. Number 4, I like the Packers. I like Eddie Lacy and I like James Starks. Lacy decided to take our own Mike's advice. He lost about 15, 20 pounds. And I like their tandem with him and Starks this year. And my 5th is a sleeper team. I like the Baltimore Ravens. I like Justin.
That's it, Tim? Well, you just mute yourself, Tim.
You gotta unmute yourself, bro. We can't hear you. I mean, just because you talk loud doesn't mean we're gonna hear you.
You're still muted.
Yeah, I mean, Josh, did you mute him?
I think his own iPad muted him.
It doesn't let me unmute him. I scroll over his thing. I don't know what's going on.
You're still muted.
What the heck? Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Well, I guess, hey, let's keep the show going. You go ahead, Josh, and if we get a chance, Tim will finish himself.
All right. Tim, hover above your little top screen. There should be the little toolbars up there. Anyways, or you could just leave and come back real quick while I'm spieling. But similar to Tim, I do have number 1 is Dallas. It's hard to argue that with the backfield they have with McFadden Morris, and they just drafted the best complete back in college. Number 2, Arizona. David Johnson, in my opinion, he might be the best back in the NFL, complete back. All around. And then you have CJ, 2K, and Andre Ellington to back him up. Number 3 is a little surprise from my end. I don't think people will agree with me, but I actually am a big fan of the New York Jets backfield as they just acquired Matt Forte. I really like Bilal Powell and Kyrie Robinson being ground and pound backs back there to support him. And they even got Zach Stacy's big old ass back there too in case they ever need him for depth. Number 4, I actually like the Chiefs backfield. I look at the Chiefs running backs corps and I see a bunch of running backs that could easily be number 2s on any other team. They have, besides Jamal Charles, they got Charkandrick West, Spencer Ware, who got plenty of burn when Charles was injured and show they're capable. And now Davis is great in the return game. So I really like the set they got going there. For number 5, I actually gave number 5 to Buffalo. I like McCoy, Carlos Williams. And they got that young Gillespie back there, too. He had a nice couple runs last year. Honorable mentions, I give it to like Jacksonville, Cincy, and New England.
All right. Number 1, I'm gonna go with Minnesota. And I go with them because really, if you look at the backups like McKinnon and Asiata, they have a ton of experience. When AP was out for that season, they played a lot. So as backups, as complementary backs, they do what they need to do there. AP is still the guy that's carrying the show there. And, allowing Teddy Bridgewater to throw 5 yards at a time and, win games. That's what he's good at. Number 2, Pittsburgh Steelers. I like Le'Veon Bell a lot. I think he's a very complete back. D'Angelo Williams is a little long in the tooth, but he had a real renaissance year last year. I think, you have the younger back, and then you have someone you can depend on in D'Angelo Williams. You said in your honorable mentions, my number 3 backfield is Cincinnati. You have that tandem with Giovanni Bernard and Jeremy Hill. Those are 2 guys you can give an equal amount of carries to, and they'll still do damage. You also have Rex Burkhead, who's kind of a short yardage type back, and I think they have Cedric Pierman's another special teamer who helps out there too. Number 4, I like Jacksonville's backfield. I like T.J. Yeldon. I think he's going to come up as a second-year player now. Chris Ivory was a steal. Now, the Jets did good by getting Forte, but Chris Ivory was a very good find. And don't forget about Denard Robinson as a change of pace back. He's got to work on, the whole ball security issues, but you still like his speed in the open field. Number 5, Dallas. This was tough because I really don't like projecting rookies. But it's hard for me not to say that Ezekiel Elliott's going to have some sort of impact up front. Is it going to be Todd Gurley? I don't know. Is it going to be Melvin Gordon? I would imagine not. And the reason why is because he's not going to be given the full show. They still got Alfred Morris. They still got Darren McFadden. I would not be surprised if you see Zeke on a limited pitch count up front, and he'll just get more carries as the season wears on.
Oh, that was touching.
That was beautiful, wasn't it?
That was beautiful. Very beautiful. Very beautiful. Thank you, Della. All right, we're going to go on with wide receivers. My number 1 wide receiver position is the Patriots. Amendola, Elderman, Chris Hogan, who came from Buffalo, and Gronk and Martellus Bennett. My God. I can't wait for fantasy. Brady got a group in front of him. Okay, now my number 2 is the Jacksonville Jaguars. I like Allen Robinson. I like Allen Hurts. To me, those are the 2 best tandems in the league. Their third option is Marcus Lee, who people forget about, who came out of USC. And, injuries slowed him down, but he's coming back healthy. He's a good plus. And Julius Thomas, who played for Denver, is one of the top tight ends. My number 3 team is the New York Jets. I like Marshall. I like Decker. I like the kid Denver Smith, who got drafted out of Ohio State. Saw some flashes last year, but then got hurt with the broken leg. And I like the tight end Amaro. My number 4 team, I got the Denver Broncos. You can't go wrong with D. Thomas at all, and Emmanuel Sanders. And hopefully, whoever's the quarterback, if it's Mark Sanchez start, which it most likely will be, definitely give him the ball. And my 5th team is the New York Giants. Listen, Odell Beckham, if Victor Cruz is healthy, you got Shepard, the rookie receiver, and the tight end Donnell, who there are games where he's open. He's getting catches. He's getting the yards. And, you know, some of the games he kept the drives alive for them. That's my top 5.
All right, Timmy. I actually have my number 1 is a team that you actually didn't even state, the Arizona Cardinals.
It's not.
I think they have the best receiver corps in the NFL. It's bar none right now. I mean, even John Brown, the little guy, was ranked like in the top 20 on PFF, you know, amongst so many of the wide receivers. So I've always been huge with their wide receiver corps over there. I've loved it. Even the running backs. I'm in love with Arizona's offense in general. Number 2, I think just like you said, I have Jacksonville. I love the Allen brothers. Even Brian Walters is like not a very big household name, and he was killing it last year. And then you got Marquise Lee still trying to make a name for himself, so he's got to be hungry out there. Number 3, this might be a little bit of a surprise, but I actually really like Baltimore. They got Steve Smith and Kamar Aiken. They were both top 25 wide receivers last year when they were playing. And then they just acquired Mike Wallace, who's going to help be their vert on the field to help Steve Smith out a little bit. And we'll see Brashad Perriman try to finally come into his own. Hopefully he will, but it's not a guarantee. He's still a question mark. But I do like the depth they have out there. Number 4, I got the same as you, Tim, Denver. It's really hard to go against Thomas and Sanders, 2 of the best veterans in the game, and they're on the same team. Now they just need to try to have Cody Latimer or Jordan Norwood step up to be that third true receiver with them. For number 5, this might be a little surprise, but I actually really like the youth and the versatility and athleticism with Miami's receivers. Jarvis Landry, Kenny Stills, Matthews. They're going to be huge weapons for Tannehill for years to come if they can come into their own. And Devontae Parker, they're going to be a problem, I think, if they can come into their own. So those are my top 5.
All right, looking at my top 5, my top group is actually the Jacksonville Jaguars at 1. I like that tandem everyone talks about, Robinson-Hearns. You have Marquise Lee. You also have Rashad Green out of Florida State. You know, he was a target for James Winston. And then the tight ends. You got the bigger tight end than Mercedes Lewis. You know, maybe not the best pass catcher, but he can block for you and catch some balls. You got Julius Thomas. I think with that offense, Blake Bortles, the more comfortable Blake Bortles gets, the more prolific you're going to start seeing those guys. Number 2, I like the New York Jets group a lot. You know, even outside their top 2 receivers, you're looking at Devin Smith. It's just a matter of the quarterback play. You know, I think there was a discussion in this group a while back, you know, does the quarterback make the receiver? Does the receiver make the quarterback? I think more often than not, if you do not have great quarterback play, unless you are a all-world type receiver, it's going to show. I like that group. We'll see what happens with their quarterback situation. 3 is Denver. You guys, you know, I'm going to echo the same sentiments. Emmanuel Sanders is this not generation, but Emmanuel Sanders is this iteration's Wes Welker. Deadly in the slot. Can beat any linebacker or safety and can run all the routes. You still got now. Demaryius Thomas had a brain fart in the Super Bowl. Luckily, you know, he had people bail him out, but he's still, you know, a top tier receiver. Number 4 hasn't been talked about. I like the Seattle Seahawks at receiver and tight end. I like Doug Baldwin a lot. I think he's criminally underrated as a receiver. You know, outside of that, you got Tyler Lockett, you know, who was a Pro Bowler as a rookie, as a returner. I think he'll get more snaps. Jermaine Kearse, Jimmy Graham. They take the tight end from Ohio State, Nick Vannett. That's a team where, again, you're starting to see Russell Wilson throw the ball more, so you're going to see those guys' numbers start to creep up a little bit. Plus, when you look at receivers, I think Doug Baldwin is as good of a blocker as Hines Ward was in the run game. Lastly, but not leastly, I like the New York Giants. Everyone talks about number 13. That's where it starts and ends at. Sterling Shepard's going to be a nice addition in the slot. I think the Giants, you look at their tight ends and you say to yourself, but Donnell's good. I mean, they have guys that can, you know, really do some damage. And you have Eli Manning, a guy who's getting better in that system. So, again, once your quarterback is getting better in the system, more comfortable, the receivers and tight ends see the benefits.
Okay, we going to offensive line now. My favorite one. Number 1 is Dallas
We know why you put
Cowboys.
this category in.
Come on.
Just so we can hear the one twice. All right.
Ah, Dallas Cowboys, number 1. Thank you. Number 2, I have the Minnesota Vikings. Number 3, the Oakland Raiders. Number 4, the Buffalo Bills. And number 5, the Cincinnati Bengals.
My O-line, I actually ranked them kind of off last year's play. I tried to factor in some departures and some of the additions. It's kind of hard, though, without actually seeing it gel on field. But I went Dallas. Number 2, I went Carolina. 3, I actually went Cleveland. 4, I went Atlanta. And then 5, I went Oakland.
For me, this was a little bit of a wrestling. I really wanted to put Oakland at 1, but I like Dallas' depth a little better. So Dallas 1, Oakland 2.
Yes.
Minnesota at 3. I like their acquisitions. They're trying to put depth along their line. New England at 4. Giants at 5.
We're 5?
Interesting.
The Giants? Not bad.
Yeah.
Touched.
I think they're sold on Eric Flowers as a left tackle. I think that's a good spot for him. We'll see what Marshall Newhouse does, but I think that they're solid across. You worry about their depth, but most teams only carry 7 offensive linemen. I think they got the bodies and the guys to step in for one of those guys if they get hurt. But I like their unit.
Yeah. Top 5 defense. Oh, top 5 defense.
Yep.
Hey, Sean, you there?
Yeah, I'm just in the middle of something. What's up?
You want to hear this? Top 5 defense. Number 1 is the Seattle Seahawks.
Oh,
come on, that's for you, Sean. I'm so tweet. All right. Number 1, Seattle. I like, of course, Earl Thomas to me the best safety in the game. Cam Chancellor, strong safety. Richard Sherman. But you know what? Brandon Browner, who robs the Saints off of money, he comes back to Seattle, and he's one of the guys that started the LOB back there. So he's back with the team, man. They're gonna be back again. Number 2 is the Broncos. To me, they had one of the best corner tandems in the league with Aqib Talib and Chris Harris. Both made the Pro Bowls. Von Miller, of course, when he gets signed, and DeMarcus Ware, his mentor. I think they still a top defense. My number 3 team is the Carolina Panthers. I love Luke Kuechly. Anything around Luke Kuechly turns to gold. I mean, I know they don't have Josh Norman, but their front 7 will definitely help out. My number 4 team is the Oakland Raiders. I mean, Khalil Mack, Bruce Irvin, Mario Edwards. I know Alden Smith is out for the year, being suspended, but they got a team around them. Not even counting the guy they drafted, dude from West Virginia.
Carl Joseph.
Thank you, Carl Joseph. Raiders are stacked. My number 5 team is the LA Rams. To me, they have the best defensive line in football. If you want a top defense, it starts up front. I love Aaron Donald and Robert Quinn and Broncos.
All right, so my top 3. I actually have 1 and 2 switch. I like Denver the best still over Seattle right now until Seattle can prove that they're back to the LOB ways. I thought Denver played much better last season overall. 3 is the same. I had Carolina. 4, I actually got Minnesota. I think Minnesota was one of the scariest defensive teams last year, and I definitely think they would have went a lot further had they not pulled a Scott Norwood. And number 5, I actually have Arizona. I think that the red zone is a very scary defense. And that's all she wrote.
Oh, man, this is going to get a little discussion here. Number 1, I still got Seattle for the same reasons. Actually, I heard this, and maybe Shawnee can confirm this. I'm hearing about they're going to move Brandon Browner to outside linebacker to kind of take him out of coverage and kind of do him like they did Deion Buchanan or Mark Barron. And make a position switch to him, the linebacker. I don't know if that's true or not, but I think for a guy who's kind of losing a step in coverage, they already said it's safety. So I think they're better off moving in the linebacker and nickel situations. To a team we haven't talked about, I really like the Kansas City Chiefs on defense. I like their front seven a bit. Justin Houston, you wonder about the health of, but they got Eric Berry, and it's just a veteran team. Like that team, the Chiefs, on both sides of the ball, it's a team you don't hear a lot about because they're not exactly flashy or exciting.
Yeah.
They just go out and get the job done. That's an Andy Reid team. They're just going out and get the job done. 3, I like the Minnesota Vikings. I like the depth. Mackenzie Alexander, I thought was a steal in the second round. Mike Zimmer is doing what he did in Cincinnati. He's starting to collect cornerbacks up there, and we'll see how that goes up there. Number 4, Miami Dolphins, number 4. Now there's going to be a lot of talk about they were terrible last year. That wasn't the defense's fault. The defense is actually not bad. The problem was the offense. And yeah, they had the receivers, but there's just too much discontinuity. We're still not sure if Ryan Tannehill is just another guy or not. I think he held them back. As anyone can tell you, the longer that defense is on the field, the less effective they look. I think one thing to keep out for is Deion Jordan is up for, reinstatement. If he gets his head back together, you're talking about a line with already you got Cameron Wake and Ndamukong Suh, Earl Mitchell, Mario Williams, back playing a 4-3, which is what he's used to playing to. But, if you had Deion Jordan in that, they made the trade for Byron Maxwell and Kiko Alonso, both upgrades over what they had.
Sure.
I think this is a team where they could still be as good on defense. You're just wondering what are they going to do on offense. 5, I like Cincinnati. I like Cincinnati on defense. Andrew Billings was a steal. He fell for a variety of reasons. I think, he comes in, pretty solid defensive line. That's another team where you wonder about Pac-Man Jones being a starting corner in the league at his age, but if you look across the board, it's a nice group that has depth.
Right. No, listen, I love all our rankings. I really do, man. Is there anybody from each other's opinions who what, I didn't think about that team that I could have added them in? Like for me, with Josh, the Minnesota Vikings as a top defense, definitely Anthony Barr and who they drafted this year?
That's exactly why it's hard to rank.
Yeah.
Even I was thinking about the Chiefs earlier, but it's so hard to try to slot them in the proper spots that you think will be the end result, best as you can.
I know they have two from UCLA's. I forgot the guy's name.
Kendricks.
But Kendricks, okay. Yeah, Barr, that was last year. Michael Kendricks' brother, and Barr. To me, they played good last year. And the safety is top notch. So I mean, Minnesota was definitely a team that I would have put in. I would have put in definitely.
On paper, Jacksonville looks very tough on defense. They get Jalen Ramsey, who's gonna be their boundary corner. Miles Jack, that's your potential starter at outside linebacker. They get Malik Jackson. They get Tashawn Gibson. They already had some players already in in Roy Miller they get Dante Fowler Jr. kind of redshirted because he tore his ACL. So really, you're talking about a defense that has 3 first-round picks coming into their rookie year this year because Miles Jack fell. He should have been a top 10 pick probably.
And speaking of Adams, I like how when you in Jacksonville, I like how you had T.J. Yeldon and Chris Ivory, too, as a running back tandem. To me, that's going to be nice, too.
I love those two. It's just Denard Robinson is the one that kind of worries me. But I do love the Yeldon-Ivory punch.
Yeah. Did anybody pick Atlanta? Atlanta in their four with Coleman and, Jesus, what's his name?
That's all I know is Coleman and Freeman there. I can't remember.
No, they needed Russia last year.
Let me look at it right here.
Hold on. This is why we need the season to start, man.
Terron Ward?
Well, there's Freeman.
Oh, wait.
Freeman.
Where did he go?
There you go.
Yeah,
Freeman.
I said Coleman and
Freeman,
Freeman.
right.
I thought you were looking for somebody else.
Oh yeah, yeah. Those, I mean, Coleman. You know, he was supposed to be the guy when he got drafted last year.
That's what was great about the Fury League last year, because Mikey Ford was so
Yes.
so high up on
Yes.
Coleman, and I ended up going Freeman on him. That boy broke out like ridiculous.
If we're
Oh
if
man.
we're talking receivers, Atlanta might be in the conversation. You got Julio Jones. They signed Mo Sanu.
Yeah,
Who I
right.
think will be a good possession receiver, similar to what Roddy White was. They're talking about a kid down there. What is his name? Justin Hardy. Talking about him blowing up. So no, I think they could be in the conversation. They also have Devin Hester as a returner.
You know what's funny? None of us picked Washington. And on my NFL Network, Charlie's Castle, he picked Washington as the number one receiving core with the tight end. But and I was like, okay, you have Deshaun Jackson, you have Dotson, who's a rookie, you have Reed, but he gets, he's really a good tight end, and
Garcon.
Garcon, and I was like, that's not a bad call. Then you got the Texans with Hopkins, okay. Then you got Fuller. They drafted Fuller, and they drafted the dude out of Ohio State. That's a good young core.
Yeah, I think with Houston, I think I didn't put him up because, as much as I like DeAndre Hopkins, I think when you name the rest of their core, you're relying a bit too much on rookies. You're talking about Will Fuller, a guy who had problem with drops and only ran a few routes at Notre Dame.
Nobody proven, right?
Right. You're talking about Braxton Miller, who's only played receiver for a year.
Right.
He's quarterback at Ohio State. If those guys gel, then yeah, this could be dangerous. But I like to go towards teams who have guys that have proven something. That's kind of my theme here. Not so much always on potential, but what's on paper right now. What do we know about these guys now?
Right.
Yes, I guess we hit it. Hey, Sean.
What's good?
Did you finish ordering the wedding cake for them?
We need an adult, Sean.
No. I tried to, but Sierra, she said no. You go ahead, love. I'll keep my hands up. It's your day.
It's your day, girl.
The Cooper hit any of us up?
What was that?
The Cooper hit any of us up?
He's watching in spirit.
Cooper. Nah.
Oh, they got him.
They got him?
They got him. He's gonna have blonde hair and skinny jeans tomorrow.
There's gonna be a report that he's dating somebody.
Oh,
Cooper,
no.
call us, man. Cooper.
No, he's gonna come back and shank you tomorrow, Tim.
Coop, you are grown, Coop. He at the party, man.
Well, anyways, guys,
good.
so we catch you guys again next week, same time, same place. We out. Easy.
We out.